Hey, disciple makers. Excited to see all of you guys tomorrow night at our worship night. Let's be excited and anticipating just a move of the Lord and time to just press into the presence of our God there at HES. So can't wait to see you after the break. But something I just was kind of thinking through today, and I've been revolving around this through a number of conversations and different topics that we've been having, but is this question: do you build a small group so that you can become a minister of the gospel? Or have you learned to be a minister of the gospel and through that to build your small group? There's a different mindset to that. You get through Welcome Week or the start of the semesters and you think, oh man, I got a small group and so I can minister the gospel. I can begin to feed them the kingdom. Or you don't, or a couple people start to transfer out or phase out, after a certain time of the year, and you just feel like, oh man, I lost my small group. There's this idea in our faith that Jesus, he had a small group, but that was because he was always ministering to the world around him and learning to be that minister. And I'm always, I'm learning how to do that, learning to take advantage of the moments that I find. But I was just thinking about that this last week as a construction worker that's been doing some work on my house was texting me, because we've had conversations. I've brought up the Lord with him and asked him faith questions, and he was texting me last week and just saying hey, how do you pray? I pray every day, but do you have a script, or do you use a script? I think I'm doing it wrong. It was such an interesting conversation that we were having over text. I was in Texas and he was up here, but we are oftentimes the only Bible that many people will ever read. And so are you a closed gospel, or are you a visible gospel in their lives? And we often talk about find, fight for, feed, but oftentimes with that classmate that you're going to see tomorrow anyways, with that coworker or that dorm mate, it doesn't go from finding people for your small group to fighting for them to be in your small group to then feeding them the kingdom through your small group. It goes into actually fighting for them to encounter the kingdom, and then finding those who are ready to be fed the gospel as a result of that. And so how often are you asking a faith question with your coworkers or your friends? How often are you sharing the gospel with your family members, or are you praying for that classmate who's just going through a tough time? Are you looking for those opportunities to give them encounters, not expecting that they're going to want even Jesus, you or your community, but to give them encounters with the love of Christ through your life, and to express and experience you, Jesus, in your community? Oftentimes also in this time of the year, we're looking at, how do I take where I'm at, who am I inviting, and who am I pursuing? And oftentimes this is a great time of the year for us to, as a community, to be pursuing each other and inviting our guys into that, to invite our guys and our girls to get to know the larger community. Other times of the year, it's start of the school, or when you're really actually building that small group at the beginning, you kind of shift that. It's the other way around. You're pursuing them, those small group guys that you met or that contact you made, and inviting your cohort or your cohort leader or your different people in your other small group members that you've had for a while, and you're inviting them to help you as you pursue after them. So who are you pursuing and who are you inviting in this season? Are you pursuing the community, and are you inviting your guys to encounter that? Because we kind of talked last couple weeks ago, your relationship with them isn't going to be enough, but if you can get your relationship with them and your small group, it'll be better, but it still doesn't have that staying power. It's you and your close friends and that larger community that creates that glue, that goo that holds them together and keeps them walking and marching towards Christ and growing in those convictions along the way through all of that. And I think sometimes we have the misperception that, students are too busy for all that, so I'm only going to do one or the other. But realizing, no, that's students might feel that way, and you definitely start with where they're at, but are you inviting them into spaces to push them to what they need? And so this week we've got Washington missions team here, and we're just out there doing outreach. We're going to be doing the spiritual readings tent tomorrow from 10 to 2 out at the trees area where we do outdoor outposts. We'd love to have you guys come out there for 30 minutes or 3 hours, whatever you got. But help us give people encounters on our campus with the kingdom of God, and learn to fight for your campus wherever you're at and in whatever space you find yourself, so that you can find those who are ready to be fought for in a deeper way and fed the kingdom. Love you guys. Have a great afternoon, evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.